welcome to another episode of Grace Saw Something on Pinterest and now thinks she can make it. Basically, I've been seeing a bunch of these like fairy mirror type things where you take a mirror and you just cover the edge in moss and mushrooms and stuff. But so I showed it to my sister and she said she wants one, so we're making one. It should be fairly simple, somewhat like the fairy globes. We have, of course, moss to begin with and hot glue gloves. And we're just going to start with that, and I'm going to figure out what I'm doing as I go, as per usual. Okay, so all we're going to be doing is taking the moss and putting it along the edges, just like that, similar to what we did with the fairy globe in my other video. Should be fairly simple. I just don't want to get too many fingerprints all over my nice little mirror right here. Also, you can do this with any kind of mirror. I mean, obviously you might want something with a simple border that is going to be easier to glue stuff onto and stuff, but any shape, any size should work. I mean, I speak like I'm an expert, but this is the first time I'm doing it. But from what I've seen on Pinterest, it really doesn't matter what mirror you do it with. Anything can be a fairy mirror, pretty much. Alright, I'm probably going to speed it up here. Have it all covered in moss now. Kind of looks like the lake of shining water if you ask me. First, we're going to be adding some lights. These are the same lights that I used in my fairy globe video. I think they're really awesome, and I think I'm just going to be putting them along the back edge so that it kind of lights up the back, because I don't really want it all reflecting in the mirror itself, and this is more decorative than actually useful in my sister's case. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm just going to flip it over, and here's the ugly little back. Whoops. And we're just going to glue this on somewhere back here, probably up here since this is technically the top, and glue them all around the edge and see how that goes. Okay. First I gotta untwist them. Alrighty. This is not complicated at all. Nope. Okay. Ta-da! Let there be light. Okay, so let me just double check which side it opens from. It is this side. So we're going to glue this side on, I think this side. For some reason that makes more sense in my head. So yeah, just one line of glue and Now I'm just going to start. I'll probably not make sure that the wire is right on the edge, and I'm just going to line the entire edge, and I'll probably speed up the video right here. So I have all the lights on now, and it glows very nicely. When it's in the dark, you can't really see it in the light as much, which is unsurprising. Also, I accidentally glued this underneath, but I can just take the chain apart and fix this later, I think. This is what happens when you do things spontaneously. But we like spontaneousness, so it doesn't really matter. Oops. So now that I have the lights on and the moss on, I have a bunch of these little dried roses, and I'm just going to put them all throughout there. My sister's favorite flower is a rose, so I think this is going to work better than any other decoration I could put. And I'm just going to test them out first, figure out before I actually go to place them where I want to place them, because it makes it much simpler and keeps me from sitting there indecisively while the glue dries. That's a little bit too symmetrical. We want a little bit of chaos, don't we? Just a little bit. What do you think of that? I'm not sure I like this. It's not terrible. Oops. I think this is perfect. Somehow it still turned out a little bit symmetrical, but I think it works. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and stick glue on the back of these. I've worked with flowers in hot glue before, dried flowers, and there were no ill effects. So I'm going to hope that that continues to hold true. And obviously, you can add whatever decoration you want. I've added mini mushrooms to the fairy globes. Those would be super cute on a mirror like this. My sister isn't huge into mushrooms though, which is why we're going with the roses. But yeah, mushrooms, maybe some feathers. I think all kinds of stuff like that would be adorable on a project like this. And I may have to make another of these just to experiment. I'm not kidding. I make one of these kinds of things and then I make 10. So, it's an addiction. But that's fine. It's an addiction we kind of like. Not that most people addicted to stuff don't enjoy the thing they're addicted to. Actually, I have no idea. I'm going to shut up. Alrighty. Last one. Okay, then I'm just going to remove all my little stringies. And I was a little worried about the strings before, that they would stick to the mirror and cause problems, but they do peel off really easy, so there's no problem there. Though if you have any better ideas for how to keep them off the mirror, totally say so in the comments, because I would love to know. But my brain had no ideas, so I'm just peeling them off. Alright, but what do we think of this? I think it's perfect. I think it belongs in a Barbie movie. So obviously the last thing that we have to do, there's hair in my face, but obviously the last thing we have to do is actually give it to my sister. I'm not going to show her because she doesn't like being on camera, but We're gonna go out and find her. I made something for you.